Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. My name is Steph and you're watching Messy Talks.
Looking for a brighter season, need to lay a burden down. Hey there,
so before I begin, if you guys hear like any jingling or anything annoying in the background, please disregard. That's my dog. He's being annoying. I feel like I have to say this every beginning of a video because he's just like, he's too much. So with the year coming to a close, I wanted to give you guys my top 7 most anticipated books for 2017. So I got all of these books off of Goodreads, so I will leave their appropriate links down below so you can research them a bit more if you're interested in reading them for 2017. I've seen that a few people have already reviewed some of these books. They've got access to it earlier, but unfortunately that's not the case for me. So I'll probably have to wait until they get released on their actual like release date. Keep in mind these books that I've mentioned, all 7 of them have been books that have been reviewed and have had at least 4 stars. No, it kind of seems a little like, oh, why don't you just read any book? But I wanted to look for books that I not only will be excited to read, but also that have already been given good reviews, because I want to see what's going to be in the market for the new year and I want to see what people are going to be leaning towards, and I think these 7 books are pretty good choices. Out of the 7, I think I only have 1 that's a part of the series, so I'll just knock that one out right in the beginning, but the rest are all just either the first books to a series or just standalone books, so you guys will be able to start off reading them without any problem or having to, you know, buy the series that came along with it, so that's a good thing. So the first book I wanted to talk to you guys about is a part of a series. Like I said, it is a part of the Red Queen series. So this one is King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard, and this book comes out February 7th, 2017. I don't think I finished Glass Sword yet, so I'll be adding that to my TBR very soon so I can be able to finish it before the 3rd book comes out. So I'm really excited to get started on that one. So the next book I wanted to mention was called Cold Summer by Gwen. This book will be released May 2nd of 2017. It's really interesting because it follows this kid. It's kind of very similar to like Time Traveler's Wife meets Jumper type thing. I don't know. But this book follows the main character. He is a high school student, I believe, and he lives in present time but also finds himself getting back to being a soldier in World War II. So that's kind of crazy. So the next book I wanted to talk about was Once and For All by Sarah Dessen, and if you guys have been following up with me for a while, you'll know that I love Sarah Dessen. I've read almost all of her books, so when I saw that she was coming out with a new one, I was really excited because I haven't been reading her in a while. Her, Ellen Hopkins, John Green, all of those types of YA authors were the ones that I followed throughout my middle and high school career. So when I saw that Sarah Dessen was a part of the list for coming out in 2017, I was like, yes, let me get my hands on it. This book is going to be released June 6th of 2017. This one, of course, is a romance love story, you know, one that we all love and enjoy. I feel like right now Sarah Dessen is kind of like my guilty pleasure more than anything else. I've been kind of straying away from like romance type books, so I don't know, it'll be interesting to read this one, especially since it's not a genre that I've been reading lately, but I do really like Sarah Dessen. So this book follows a girl who her mom is a famous wedding planner, so of course you can only imagine the amount of weddings that she's seen and how cynical she is when it comes to love. So when she comes across a guy that could possibly be her true love, she kind of holds him at arm's length, and that's kind of what the whole book entails. We follow her going through this possible new romance, which should be exciting. Another book I came across was Blood Rose Rebellion by Rosalyn Eves. This book will be released on March 28th, 2017. So this book is going to be a part of a series, but it's the first book out of the series. It kind of gives you the same feel of Red Queen, even from the cover to just like the synopsis on its own. It has a lot of influence from Red Queen. One can see that simply from just reading the synopsis. So it's about this girl who her family is a part of the Luminates, and it has a lot to do with like magic and stuff. So our main character wasn't blessed with those magical skills as her siblings were. She later on finds herself getting exiled because of like something that she did, which the more you read the synopsis, you'll get a better understanding of it. I just don't want to explain it wrong since I haven't read it myself. What's interesting is that this is placed in Hungary. I don't know if it's placed in modern day Hungary or, you know, their own made-up version of Hungary, but I'm trying to say Hungary, but I keep saying Hungary, so bear with me. But it's interesting because like the names, and you can tell that the characters are not white, so I don't know, I'm really like into new YA novels that have that aspect where our main characters aren't white, because sometimes I find it difficult to envision characters that aren't meant to be white. Like for some reason I end up just still picturing them as white, and like every time I read them, like, you should not be having that perception. So I think it's really great that there are authors that, you know, are branching out and having different types of main characters, and also it has a lot to do with your audience. And if you're an author and your audience is not necessarily, like, the majority of them are not necessarily Caucasian, then having characters like this are really good. And then also it helps for young people who are reading these, because it is young adults, so they're very influential. So that was kind of one of the big reasons. Like when I was reading the synopsis, I was like, I don't know, it seems a lot like Red Queen, but I'm excited to see where she takes this because it seems kind of different. It seems interesting. So like I said, I will leave the links down below so you can read the synopsis for yourself. Neil Gaiman is coming out with a book this February 7th next year of 2017, and it is called Norse Mythology. It has a lot, it's very influenced by mythology, and I've always been a fan of Neil Gaiman. The stories that I have read by him I have liked, and also the fact that he's focusing it on mythological tales, I really like that. Not to get too off topic, but I have been listening to this podcast where they talk about mythology and like stories that can be true but might not be, and it's up to your own interpretation. So I've been really liking that, and I've learned a lot from that. Like I've learned like mythology from countries that I would have never even like researched on my own. So I think the podcast for that. And if you're wondering what podcast it is I'm talking about, you're probably going to have to stay tuned, because I am going to be doing a video on my top favorite podcasts, or you can go back to one of my vlogs where I very quickly mention them. So you have two options. I don't know if I've necessarily ever heard of Norse myths before, but I'm interested to see where this story will take us. And I've always been a fan of Neil Gaiman. He's just an awesome author. So when I saw he was coming out with a new book, I was like, yes, I need to get my hands on this. So you're kind of going to be seeing a pattern here, but the next book I'm going to be talking about is Gilded Cage by Vic James. This book will be coming out February 14th of 2017. This one, it looks like we have about 3 or so different main characters, or like it switches perspective throughout the book. So this follows characters within a world where everyone is called equals, and they all live within guarded gates in England, and outside of those gates is something where no one even wants to go. So I'm guessing our characters are gonna go there. So that'll be kind of interesting to read, and I'm kind of excited. I don't know, I didn't really purposefully, you know, try to get all of these books within the same kind of realm, but they are YA, so I guess that's kind of like given. I haven't read anything by Vic James before, but he did get a 4.21 out of 457 ratings on Goodreads, so this book has to be good. The last book I'm gonna talk about is Warcross by Mary Lou. This is the first book out of a series, and it will be published in 2017. There's no exact date, but it will be published next year, which is great. And if you go on Goodreads, the link that I'm going to be putting down below, there's no set cover image yet, so I guess it's still in production. But the reason why, it's not just because it's Mary Lou. I honestly have not read any of her books. I think I have one of them, but I have not read it. So I'm not being biased or anything. I just saw this synopsis, which is like less than 3 sentences. No, it's literally just 1 sentence, and I'll read it to you right now because it's like, that's all I needed. So it's about 2 teenage bounty hunters who are hired by a young billionaire to catch a hacker in the world's most phenomenally popular virtual reality video game. What the fuck? Like, I feel like we're getting 3 different realms in here. We're getting bounty hunters, we're getting hackers, we're getting virtual reality video game. What the fuck? Like, this all seems very futuristic but very like mystical at the same time. So I'm really excited because I have no clue where this book will take us. Sorry about that. My dog is literally just like destroying everything. But yeah, those were my top 7 books that I'm excited to read for 2017. Keep a lookout for those reviews. I'll probably have them up as soon as I finish reading them once they come out. So if there are any books that you are excited to read this upcoming year, please let me know. I want to know what you guys are reading or what you're planning on reading for the year of 2017. So, oh, and side note, yes, I dyed my hair. It is blue-ish, silver-ish, green? I don't know. It's doing its own thing right now. But yeah, comment down below with top 5 books that you'll be reading this upcoming year, and maybe I'll end up reading them too with you. Thank you guys so much for stopping by at my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.